Hello again, back to Mark's Minerals videos. I'm working on that Aguascalientes piece that I'm trying to do beginning to end. So as I've pulled off some of the mud and chalcedony, the stone is starting to take shape. This is the base of the stone, this is the bottom. Underneath this mud, this is the outline of the stone here. And a lot of this can be done with candling. Sometimes you could hold it up to a bright light like so, and you can see where it disappears. This is the agate down below. This is the chalcedony. There's some layers of potential ghost fire in here, and sometimes those are pretty, but they're hard to chase. They're really thin, and it's not really worth my time. So I'm using an aluminum pencil to mark off where I'm going to cut. And I'm going to cut this stone and try to separate some of this garbage away. And I'll be doing it in a few stages. Kind of cleave this off. And yeah, so it's going to get a little bit loud. Forgive that. Again, always, if you're cutting, you should be wearing an N95. You should be wearing a respirator or a mask. You don't want to be breathing the dust because there is a chance of silicosis, and that's really nasty. I'm going to give you a quick layout of my shop, what I'm doing here. I just jerry-rigged some irrigation tubing with a little valve so that it would constantly drip in my workspace. And the reason I can work with water is because I'm working with a flex shaft. I'm not working with a Dremel. You don't want to work a Dremel right under a bunch of water and risk electrical shock. So it's actually separated out. There's the mask. And just for the purpose of this, I am not using it while I'm making the video. That's why I'm using extra water. Not something I'd recommend, but for the sake of the video. Alright, so it's going to get a little bit loud. Lots and lots of water. And I'm going to cut above these, and I'm going to cut enough above so that I'm not dipping into the color. Nice steady pressure. And make sure you're wetting that stone often. Forgive that. I'm going to have to pause this and make my cut, because otherwise, you know. Alright, so I wasn't able to see while I was making the cuts because there's a thin layer of plexiglass between me and the workstation. So I make a series of cuts, and it's almost like felling a tree. I'm trying to come in here and relieve pressure in different areas. So when I start, it's almost like a pressure flake, like you would with obsidian. As I start to break this up, I want to have enough freedom for the stone to break away cleanly without ripping back into the stone. I'm guiding the way it's going to fall off. And you might want to wear gloves for this. Just be careful with it. Protect yourself as you work. So that's a much more realistic shape. That's more of what I'm going for. Some of this will continue to flake off, but I'm not going to spend the whole video doing that. Alright, so I've exposed it, I've windowed the stone, I'm on top of it, and I can see some Let's see if we can clear that up. I can see some fire, some color in here, and I know it's in there, but this is, you want to be at least this close so you can see where the stone is and the outline of the stone. So now that we're mostly cleaned up, I'm going to switch back to coarse bits, grind away some of this excess bottom rock, because sometimes the fire will be on both sides. On a good fire agate, you'll see it on the top and the bottom. And then I'm going to just clean up these little valleys so it looks more like this, and then we'll be back. Thanks for watching, and I'll try to work the stone from beginning to end. Aguascalientes fire agate. Thanks for watching.